What up, what up, what up, Wheatfield? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Welcome back to another intuitive channeled message session with your girl Lottie, your favorite channeled messenger. We just gonna keep claiming it. Thank you so much for coming back. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you new here, welcome. Welcome to the Wheatfield. This is Lottie, channeled messenger, channeling in the spirit infinite intelligence of the all in the breath of life, our creator, eternal Lord of all. Yes, thank you so much. Uh, y'all, look, have to put my disclaimer out there. We're highly spiritual. We're not religious at all. We're not. We study text, everything that we can pretty much get our hands on, that which we've bought so far. We haven't bought them all, but we study. We try to be diligent in that. That's yes, 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 we do. We look at all other, ways that the infinite speaks, creation itself. How does the stars move and what does that look like in our body? How does our internal workings, this highly integrated system, this organized organism that we live in, I call it an organization. I do because, this grand mind up here is kind of like the CEO board of all these spirits and happenings and things and stuff like that. Just go with your girl. Sometimes it's a little wacky. Sometimes it can start off slow. We're a little weird, like stuff just kind of scattered all over the place. But most time brings it together. Like the pieces, kind of like creation itself. Looks like a whole bunch of randomness, but when you can pull back and see it from a grand, that big, 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 big picture, and then see how it condenses together for a purpose, yeah, that's generally how it flows out. So if you can hang on in there, if you can rock with your girl, if you can vibe, subscribe. If it end up being something that you care about, share it out. And if you really want to come in on a daily and get this here spell, hit that little bell. It'll let you know when we throw something up. Yes, yes, we do. Disclaimer. Disclaimer, I said spiritual, not religious at all, okay? We pull from every text so you can see me read from pretty much anything. Depends on whatever source wants to bring. I am a channeled messenger, which means the spirit will channel through me. I speak in the spirit and from the spirit. I scribe in the spirit. So if all of those things make you feel a little kind of way, you might not want to stay. You might want to click off. Ashe, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it is what it is. The message is what it is. So, if y'all ready for this ride, today's a self-care day. Self-care Sunday. And I think today is Sunday, December the 19th. I believe that's what the calendar that we follow say. We don't really know what day it is. It's just another rising. Come on in this grand experience we call life. Y'all, have faith. Faith. It's what faith conquers all things. It really does. It really does. Anytime you have a fear about something, beat it back with your faith, beloved. Having faith in you, the source of all of creation, our eternal Lord. Every messenger said it is not unto I, but it's unto the Father. So we give all of our glory, praise, and worship to the Most High. And that's really, really all it is. That's it. Some people can vibe with that. Some people can't. They come in, they go out. It doesn't matter. We flow. Float on, float on, float, float, float. Let's get this message. Today, we started on Facebook within our little tiny Buddha's Guide to Loving Yourself, Self-Care Sunday. Yeah, and we were reading in this little passage, talks about us as humans and how amazing you are. Did you know that you are amazing? I hope so. Did you know that you inspire me every day? Yes, you do. And did you also know that I just want to say this? Thank you for being you, being your whole amazing self. Yes, humans are amazing. We adapt, we heal, we are capable of growing stronger daily, yes. When we acknowledge that changes, challenges, and hardships come to us to deepen us, You want me to read it just like that? Okay. When we acknowledge that changes, challenges, and hardships are there to deepen us, to remind us that we do get second chances, and that we are each of us, made up of the frequency of love. We all have the attributes of the frequency of love. Love is a frequency. It has a spectrum. We kind of talked about it like pH balance. You know, if you think about that thing, it's a spectrum. I think it goes from maybe -14 all the way up to +14. Not really for sure about the negative side so much, but I definitely know it goes up to like a pH plus 14, and you get anything like, because you got that acids and that alkaline, right? If it's something that's too acidic, it'll burn your ass up. You have to balance it, or you get to a base. Like the base is what neutralizes. Ooh, come on, Father. Neutralizes it. Yes. Come to par. Balance with that thing. Base. Woo. That's what I heard Father say. Get grounded. Yes. And if you are grounded and rooted, and knowing that the source of self, the source of you, your creator, is with you all the time to help you manage the tears in your life, you can grow, you can adapt, you can change. You can actually see the frequency and the spectrum of love that you are composed of, and see which way you're going to polarize. I feel Father rocking me. Like some polarize acidically, and some polarize in alkalinity, right? So it's just a spectrum, but to come back to base and be centered and rooted and grounded on that base, on a solid foundation, not leaning too far into this one, not leaning too far into this one, but to be solid. I feel ground zero, like the zero, the base, yes. It's a whole thing, yeah. So we are made up of the frequency of love, which includes compassion and healing. Healing is in there. Something remarkable happens. With this new awareness, you can make a promise to self to live differently. Make a decision to wake up each day feeling whole and connected to who your whole self is. Oftentimes, people like to leave out parts of their whole, but you are whole. Creation itself is whole. That's like the body. You think about your whole organism, everything in it composes you. Right? You don't think about yourself in segmented pieces. You don't think about yourself as eyes, a nose, a mouth, ears, a heart, lungs, liver, all of that stuff. You don't think about your intestines being separate from all of these other things, from your phalanges and your toes and, you know, your womb, or your you know, your testiculars and all that stuff. You don't think about all of that being separate. You just say, this is me. So when we look at attributes of self, whether you want to characterize this as being bitter or jealous or envious or happy or joyful or grateful, you know, compassionate and understanding, all of that is the fullness, is spectrum of you. And to look at how situations come to your life to expose you to you, it gives you an awareness that, one, helps you deepen knowledge and self-discovery of self, and two, come to good with your whole you. No longer judging you, no longer polarizing this way or polarizing that way. So that's the discussion of the day. And since we've gotten to that point, it's time to pray. All right. Acknowledging the breath of life, the force of life in creation. Acknowledging the infinite all, the intelligence of the all. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for bringing me into remembrance. Yes, yes. Thank you for the creator of all of creation, that which is eternal and has called the whole. Yes, 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 yes. Heaven has come to earth to reside in earth in order to do a work to discover self and to discover self in such a way that it allows things to be performed in this plane as it is in the upper realms. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to learn self so that I may develop myself in such a way that I match the frequency of the Most High God, to raise myself up in edification, to surrender myself onto the change and to the development of my light. Please brighten my lumens as you edify me for this message. I am a vessel, surrendered to bring a message from the Most High onto his wheat field. Allow this message to be edifying onto your wheat so that they too may raise themselves up, take in the nourishment onto self, learn and discover more about them, their selves, and raise up as well. Let us come together over this principle of self-discovery, of learning to appreciate creation in its fullness, its diversity, its wholeness. Yes, thank you so much, Father. And as we unite over this principle, yes, we will edify self. We will nourish ourselves and raise ourselves up so that we may serve up something so edifying unto you, Holy Father, the creator of all of creation, yes, so that we may fulfill our purpose, raising ourselves up, match our frequency for the sake of ascension back to you. Each one of us on our own individual, unique path, journeying back to our creation, to our creator, to the source, to home, so that we can go home. All of these things I pray according to your words. Let us be in alignment as again having come into earth to reside in earth and on earth to do this work, to align ourselves, to align ourselves. If we be in alignment, Father, yes, 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 please seal me with their ashe. Please seal this space. Brighten my light so bright that anything that has been condemned to run to and fro in this space be blocked out, that it may be sealed out and cannot come in this space to distort, disillusion, confuse, or cause conflict in this message. Keep it out, seal it out, bound it, bind it, bind it, bind it, bind it, bind it up, bind it up, bind it up, and cast it down as only you can. Thank you so much. I stand on your authority and your power and call these things so molded. Be, yes, in the name of the mighty Father, the eternal Lord of all. Yes, 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 yes. If you give me your grace and your mercy and your authority, please, please seal us with your ashe, please. Or give me further words that I must pray. Ashe, y'all, let's get it. Yes, yes. Whoo, whoo. Thank you guys so much for sitting with me. I pray that you are still with me. Yes, that you could feel that you could resonate with it, that you could vibe. And if you could vibe already, go ahead on and subscribe. If it takes to the end of the message, just sit for a spell. I told you to come together. And by the end, I hope you want to hit that bell and come on back around here. Come on back around here. Father says, come on in, come on in. I pray that the Father brings the person that is meant to have this message to this space. I do. I pray that that energy goes out into the ether and that you are called in, that you are drawn in, that you are magnetically charged to come on in, yes, and that you hit the bell, that you subscribe, that you vibe. Maybe you'll go back through them archives because it could be something else down there for you that, is due. Time for you to see it. And it's now. I'm just saying, we got to get a sip because I got some faith on that. I do. Somebody need it. I did. It's edifying unto self first because to what? I don't feed nobody. Nothing that I ain't going to eat. Huh? Get this sip. Mm. It was another thing in this little big passage. Is it here? No. Is it on this page? No. Okay, well, let me do it. Anyway, this right here we're talking about is what it means to really care for yourself. And sometimes you could be so disconnected, truly, like you have a superficial, like an outer layer of what it means to care for yourself. Like, you know, you need to eat, drink water, you need to shower, you need to be clean, like hygiene is a thing. Fairly, you know, positive type of person, you know what I mean? Like, or maybe, you know, not. You could be, you know, somebody that, you know, complains about some things and don't necessarily feel the gratitude and the graciousness that creation offers on a daily basis, you know. Maybe you don't feel wrapped up in the whole giving and receiving thing. Like maybe your cup is empty, you know. Maybe you are pouring out a whole ace of cup of love and you only getting like look people putting in like a page, excuse me, a page, a cup worth of love back in it. You know, and those tears in your life, those situations are reflecting back something to you for you to resolve in self, because everything comes to show us self. Tares and wheat to row, huh? Yes, the parable of the tares and wheat is that the field was sown with good wheat, right? Like it was no. I mean, they cleared the plot, cleared it out, made sure that the land was good, turned the dirt is nourishing, is good, laid the lines, put the seeds in, like they did all of this hard work. And then lo and behold, something came along and sowed tares in the field. Now, who sowed the tares? Because nothing gives or takes life but the Father. And if the Father is the creator of all things good and evil, then we must know that the tares are rooted within us naturally. Like it is a part of the Creator's plan for us to have tares. And each one after their own kind. So everyone has a tear that's going to push you to develop self. But oftentimes, what happens is that we spend a lot of time focusing on the issues and not enough time allowing ourselves to be developed because of the issue. This issue or this thing is before me for a reason to push me into self discovery, to discover what it is about me that called it in, that allowed it in, that resonated with it on a frequency type of level. Um, was it self-inflicting? Is it self-harming? You know, what is it? And all of this is, again, to grow you as you raise yourself on this journey through life. You know, are you in the mode of surviving? You know, just to get through day to day. And sometimes that's it. That's just the space where you're in until you get to a point where you are lifted enough to really thrive and really see the beauty and the wonderment in it all. Like, who could sit at and look at a volcano and watch its eruption, that explosive, you know, release of energy that could just destroy so much and see beauty in that? Like the fact that the whole thing is changing everything around it. It's gonna burn stuff down and wipe it away and start anew. It may it's gonna cause some regeneration. It's going to take time. Like that is, I love volcanoes. Like it is one of my natural the natural destructive things that is like so beautiful in a sense. It might sound morbid, it could, I don't know. But you think about all of that built up pressure. That lava is just churning in the inside of the gut, the belly of the earth is just churning. And then it gets, the energy is raising it, 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 like boom! And it just explodes out. How many of us feel like we are volcanoes? Like you got so much emotion just raging and raging and raging and raging and raging, 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 raging. but you smother it down. You hold it. You hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, and keep it into self. And what is it doing? Is it's rotting. It's blocking this heart. It's blocking it, and you can feel the rhythm of that in here, and it's just feel like an internal implosion that takes you out, beloved. If it doesn't take you out physically, it takes you out spiritually, where you no longer expect the miracles of life. You expect more rage. You expect more sadness, more grief. And even when something good comes along, you don't expect to keep it. You don't expect that it's permanent, that it is a good that could rise, 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 rise. Like it might go like this. But even on this rise, the dips are still a up from where you were. I posted that this morning. Like going on a journey, the up is so up that even my downs are ups. Trust, as you grow and elevate, you're going to dip back and forth, back and forth. That's why I told myself I need to stop talking about how many, weeks we got in the field. Because every time I say that, we dip. We dip, we dip, we dip. You know? But it's okay because even still with that dip, it's still a up. I know that we are rising and we are on the incline, and to look back to where we started from the nothing to from the base, from the zero to what? Come on now. I'm still so excited about where we at because it don't feel like nothing but a up. All of it is a up, 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 up. Yes. And as you dig deeper into like to go down, down. I think about the seeds. So of course, Father, keep it there. I can get squirrel, y'all. Because I just had a thought. Going deeper into self is a thing. That is how you raise yourself up. To dig deep into the darkness in order to rise and raise and brighten your light. It feels like, how the Grinch's heart grew like 3 sizes once he went into self and could see, like, okay, this is what's going on with me. It's been because I felt disconnected and abandoned, and I have all these issues, and I'm afraid of connectivity because anytime I try to connect to something, it blows up. Right? So it's best for me to find a way to feel connected and okay with self, even if that means I am holding everything in till you get to the point where it either kills you or you explode on everything else, and then now it's ruin on everything around you. That was a part of my volcano analogy. But what happens with the volcano analogy, when everything cools off, that lava cools, it turns into soil, and it's the most nourishing soil on earth. Underwater volcanoes create new landmass. Earth is always churning and growing, using every bit in the plane to regenerate self. It is how we could say that it doesn't pass away. I mean, unless something comes and knocks the whole planet out like kaboom. But even still, the source materials of Earth, the elements, will always remain. It never goes anywhere. Creation is whole. We look at the materials left over from supernovas when stars explode. It floats around and then it cools and condenses and then it becomes something else. That source material is never lost. Creation is whole. It really, really is. So we were talking about going into self and doing that. And then I went back to my volcano analogy. How someone has been holding something really deep down in there and not allowing that energy to be transformed and transmuted. And what it does is it could eat away at you on the inside, causes us to feel isolated, like we cannot connect, and if we do connect, we will be threatened. It can be it's a defense mechanism, a coping mechanism to take care of self. I preserve and reserve self so that nobody can hurt me. But to get into what it really means to take care of self might be a little bit different than what you're normally used to. Because taking care of you could look like holding things back, pulling yourself back, staying away from others and staying reserved so that you don't experience the hurt. But what you may need to do is something very different. You could, you know, need to go inside and start to unpack, to face the fears, to think about why you feel abandoned, why you are unable to connect, why you are afraid of connections. Truly, true connections, like allowing your heart to be open, to get it out so that it can make space and room. Because again, that pressure building up, and if you hold it in, it could really hurt this heart space, block it out where you can't feel anything come in and you can't put your fullness out. And then is it accepting of your whole you? This whole spectrum. Are you accepting everything, all of it? And just get to good, to zero, to base with it, like it is. And not judging, no judgment, even onto self. Taking it to the creator of all things and just lay it out. The creator accepts all of creation. It is itself. Creator made everything. So good and evil, right? So if the creator made all things, then it accepts itself in every diversity, in every capacity. Are you able to accept yourself in every diverse expression of you? Like all of your personalities. Yeah, all of your personalities. Because you're not the same person in every scenario, Ashe. So, are you able to accept you in every manifestation, in every form of you? Are you just to say, yeah, that's me? And sometimes that's enough. That's all you need is to say, yeah, that's me. I recognize that. But who you are to say, yeah, that's me, and what you could be are two different things. I can acknowledge that that's me, but I also get to choose what I be. Yeah, because I accept my wholeness, like everything that's in me, everything that's about me. I get to pick and choose what I be. I get to look at it. I get to choose this, I get to choose this, and I get to choose this. And I get to choose, again, what response is appropriate for the moment. I get to see myself, my wholeness, and then truly discover how to take care of me. Ooh, it's a very different thing to only take care of your goodness and control and restrain the other side. But is there something different in the ability to be able to recognize your wholeness, your whole spectrum, and put it into use for self? Ooh, how do you do that, La? How do you put your whole you into use? I have anger. I do. Ooh, that volcano that's down up in here, but I understand that as it's coming up, that these chakra centers transform and transmute the energy as it's coming up, so that by the time it gets here, what happens, Father? I speak it up to the source first. And then what happens? It comes back down and discerned in this space, and then what happens? We release it out. We've added the awareness that we need to speak to the Father first, to pull ourselves back. That way, we can put that anger to use, because that emotion is useful. It's a part of my guidance center. If I'm sad, what do I do? Sadness. We express it up. And then what happens, Father? The comforting counsel comes in. And then we can express it out. It doesn't matter The joy. Hey, spirit of joy. Yes. The joy. When we feel joy, we give it up. We express it up to our Creator. And then what happens? It comes back down. Oh, we can feel it in this space. Yes. And then we share it out. Yes, we share it out. It doesn't matter. All of creation is whole. But in every scenario, we take that up to the Father, to the Creator, that which made it all, and then have it drop down to us. It's discerned in this heart space. And then we can speak it out. We can give it out. Yes, we can perform a work with our hands from a space that has been discerned in our heart. So it can be balanced. Not leaning over here, not leaning over there. Balance. Yes, yes. In my opinion, that's what it means to take care of self. Because whatever I feel, whatever rage, I feel that volcano. But some people might feel a hurricane. Some people might feel a tornado. Like everything in your life is just caught up in the tailspin, just the greatest spin you could ever, like, and it's just chaotic spinning, spinning, spinning. Everything, all your attributes, all your possessions, everything in your life just spinning, 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 and you are spinning with it. But there is an ability to, even in that scenario, to put yourself, to center yourself right in the middle of the tornado. Right in the middle of it. Can you imagine as the tornado is spinning, you are standing at the base, the bottom, looking at the winds flow around. Just watching everything as it swirls around and swirls back. What's ruminating? What is swirling around in this tornado? What's flying through in a hurricane? What is this hurricane coming through, ripping up and carrying away, disrupting everything around it, flooding you with all of this water that needs to be absorbed into self, but it is feeding something in here. Is it refilling your cup? Is it washing away the old? Is it ripping up what should not be aligned to you? Things that you may refuse to give away, to tear up and tear away, or to come to balance with, to come to good with, and release it. Are you living in a place that is just prone to storms? Is that your chosen battlefield? And again, this is not all physically, right? I mean, if you choose to live in Louisiana where them hurricanes and stuff roll through there every year, then it's something about you that is okay with the weather and the storm every year and being okay with the rebuilding. And that's the thing. That's tenacity. That's tenacious to be able to do that. It is. You sure enough got to have some faith on that, beloved. You living in a place where you sure enough know you probably got to rebuild on an annual basis 2-3 times a year, because how many of them storms roll through there in a season? And if you talking about that right there on a literal basis, you live in, I mean, just think about that. People who choose to live in an area where they potentially have to rebuild and rebuild and rebuild multiple times in a season, knowing that the support and the infrastructure for that rebuild is just not there. How much faith do you have to have in self and your abilities, your capabilities to persevere and rebuild consistently? Do you build back better every time? Or is your ability to rebuild diminished over time? How are you placing your energy? Just saying. But there's something about that ability, that characteristic of perseverance and tenacity that is there for those who choose to stay in those environments and rebuild, knowing full well that they could have to do that 2-3 times in a season. Never really certain if it's going to, what type of damage is going to be done, but willing to go back and rebuild, rebuild, rebuild. Are you able to take your source material and rebuild? Are you the one that's rooted and grounded and planted with the tenacity to rebuild? To take all of your source material, all of it, your home, and rebuild. Starting on the inside. Sometimes things storm, they rage. You rage. But that energy that's built up like that volcano, it has to explode sometime. It either does two things. I've seen, well, three. But the third one that I was thinking of that popped in my head is really like the beginning. And it just leads to the other two. So that's kind of why it's kind of more, two, right? Más o menos here. So we know that the base, like the volcano, is resting, right? It's resting. But while it's resting, there's activity going on. Like the underbelly is churning still, and that energy is rebuilding. I mean, like, it may not be doing, nothing on the outside, but there are things still happening at that base ground level, of course. Second one, as that lava, the energy, the flow that's going on inside, the flow of emotion, the flow of change, the flow of the past events and traumatic experiences is churning, churning, churning. Some volcanoes release a little bit at a time. Trickle release, trickle release. And that trickle release keeps them from the big explosion, right? Keeps them from like being destructive, that destructive explosion. What's coming out can be managed, and it could be a good thing, like it's just coming out over time, a little bit, letting it flow on out. Just let it flow, right? It's coming up, and there's vents, and it allows it to flow. Then you got that other one. Ooh. Okay. Because you talk about what's going on at Yellowstone, it got vents and all kind of things trying to hold that mega cauldron back. When you talking about we live on one of the biggest volcanoes on Earth, and nobody even thinks about it. Don't. We go around about our daily lives like Yellowstone could what take out. And you talking about reverse migration, people trying to get down to South America to get the hell away from North America because this bitch is going to be covered in lava. That's why I think that whole conversation is so funny, but that's just me. Now, I digress. Let's get back to the volcano. Anywho, told y'all I get squirrel. So, back to Yellowstone with one of the biggest cauldrons of lava. Ooh. You talking about a mega cauldron of lava that's down there, that's churning, and that pressure is like, because it got little bitty vents trying to let some of this pressure out, but baby, it is gonna come a day, because them little vents ain't enough. It's not. And then talking about getting back to taking care of yourself, because sometimes what you doing to vent yourself just may not be enough. You not letting it out. You not getting it out. You not sending it up to the Father. Maybe, maybe not. And what you sending up there could be honestly half-assed. Because some of us are so feeling shameful that we are I had that card, what if I let go of shame, or something like that in my empowering questions I was flipping. But some of us feel so shameful about some of the events and things and actions in our manifestation in this life experience that we don't even give it to the Most High God. Yeah. Am I doing more of the things that keep me alive, or more of the things that make me feel alive? What makes me feel alive? Some people are only doing what keeps them alive, not what makes you feel alive, where you could feel the diversity of creation. You could feel the energy of joy. You can feel that frequency of gratitude and appreciation for just being in the plane, for being able to be here and experience. Yes. These eight wonders, yes. We know we're connected to the Father in its whole, because we are thoughts of its, the Father itself, made by the infinite intelligence of the all. Yeah, so we are all thoughts. The Father thought of everything. It is a manifestation of the Father's mind. We're connected and bounded by the force of life, the breath of life. As I breathe in creation. I exhale out creation. Creation is connected. The trees and the flowers breathe. Bees breathe. You take away oxygen from anything and see, does it not die? Everything, well, not oxygen, but the breath of life, because the breath exists in many forms. It's not just what we breathe, it's what creation breathes. It is the flow across all of creation, all of it. Yes. So, are you able to take everything, all of you, your whole, to the Father and give it up? And just recognize the wholeness of self? The same way the Father can recognize supernovas and volcanoes and tornadoes and every destructive force in creation itself, the destructive forces that come to break creation down back into its source material so that it can be recombinated and rebuilt into something new. Yeah, that energy gets to a point where it explodes, and then that source material never goes anywhere. It's cooled and recombinated and created into something new. Big Bang, what did it do? All of those gases condense and form celestial bodies. You break your molecular structure down, you look at you from an elemental periodic table standpoint, you are made of everything that the cosmos is made out of. Everything is made out of everything. Bonded differently, yes. Different concentrations, yes. That's the diversity of life. And to see the Father, our Creator, as the diversity of life, you can see you as a piece of creation, that diversity in life. You are a piece of diversity of creation. I mean, it sounds all very plain, like I ain't saying nothing new. We celebrate diversity. But although we celebrate diversity, we still separate ourselves. We don't celebrate all of the pieces of self. Like, celebrate your anger and your despair, because to experience them are a blessing. To be on the sunny side of the dirt, beloved, because there we go. Thank you, Father. Boom, boom, fist bump. Father say, bring it back, bring it back. Because when you, to see deep down in there, what? That fire starts at the belly of the volcano. When that's so, the field is sown tares and wheat, baby, the seeds grow down. Like, I mean, they put the seed in the dirt, it's uncovered. I mean, it's covered up with all the earth. And what do the roots do? They grow down. They grow down. They grow down to galvanize that energy, what they need, and all these processes start taking place. And baby, yeah, I believe that the tares come out of the wheat. That is two sides of the same coin. Yeah, because all of us have a light and a shadow. And a lot of us have a tear side to us that we must contend with on a daily, and we know that. You got your good, your bad, your high, your low, whatever, your north, your south, however you want to term it. You are a reflection of you. So when we say tears and wheat, baby, and every tear has its own wheat, every wheat has its own tear, huh, each made after its own kind, it is a thing to that, to be able to see how the things that you are facing in your life is reflecting you back to you. Let that sit in your chakra just for 1 second. Get a sip. Practice on some faith. Because when things grow downward, and they, again, the downs that leads to the ups. Everything that gets planted grows down, rooted. The seed gets to doing its thing. That infinite intelligence gets to working in that, cracking things open, the germ open, and this is happening, and this is happening. All while it's being fed. The tears in the wheat, baby. The Father, the plane is whole. All the resources and materials that you need for optimum growth are already with you, bestowed upon all of us, and used the same. The tears, yeah, they use the rain and the snow and the sun and all of that stuff, the elements, to nourish itself the same way you do, the wheat. But oftentimes the wheat is so busy looking at the tear that it is not about the business of edifying self so it could fulfill its purpose of being nourished for good bread. A lot of times the energy is placed on the tares, and what does that do? You feeding your energy to the tear. So it could do what? It's not itself not called for good bread. According to the parable, it's going to be bundled up, ripped up, separated, bundled up, and cast over and burned because it's not useful. That is the part that's not useful. Only you know what I'm trying to say. The Father not going to eat that, according to the parable. Because what does it do? The fruit of the tear is a thorn. It hurts you. It's designed to hurt. It is designed to hurt. And that pain that is designed to be there is to galvanize you so that you can get the energy that you need. It's like a power source that's right there with you all the time. Like you draw from that power. You learn what it is that you need to edify in self so that you can power yourself up, raise yourself up, brighten your lumens, learn the lessons that it's bringing you so you can bust through that dirt. When you bust through the dirt and come into your fullness, you see how you have been edified for good bread. You can see the tear clearly. Like, ooh, that's what that was? Huh? You just recognize it. But you still have your both sides. One that's going to be ripped out and you don't, and then you good bread. What's remaining? But I can't, I mean, and I don't even know if this is coming together and making sense. Father say, yeah, we on the right path. But take care of you. Allow with the tear, the adversity, to show you what it is that you should edify in self. How is that in you? What is it that is in you? Yeah, you got a volcano, you got a whole tornado in here. But the ability to either vent it out, send it up, take that energy, transmute it, send it up, and have it come back down to you, discerned in your heart space so that you could serve it out. That's just it, really. Raising your frequency, raising your awareness of self. Increasing your ability to get to good with your whole self so that you can serve you out in goodness. For goodness sake. For goodness sake. And when you polarize in that, we increase the harvest. Yes. When you polarize yourself to that end, we increase the harvest. Because we called for good bread. Now what kind of bread you gonna be? It's called on to the diversity. I mean, because it's all kind of bread out here. It is. So take care of yourself. Take care of you. Look at all of you and come to good with you. To a point where it doesn't matter what it is or what you've done. Whatever. Whatever. Letting go of the judgment. It just is. Getting back to base. Ground zero. Grounded. Rooted. I am whole. And I have many attributes, but I choose what I am. I choose who I am being. So I choose what I be. So just be. And I choose it. I can look at my array of self and say, am I doing things that keep me alive or the things that make me feel alive? Like to let me know that I am experiencing creation itself. And I have the opportunity and the ability to do so. I have the ability to be aware that I am doing it. I have the ability to be aware that I am on my journey back to the source. That everything that I go through seeks to raise my lumens, to brighten my light so that I can learn. I can learn and I can grow. And through my learning and discovery, I discover me. I discover the source that created all things. I can see creation as the source. I can see you, my brethren, as the source. And I have appreciation for you, and I have appreciation for life, for its experience in all of its manifestations, whether it be the tornadoes, the hurricanes and typhoons, the volcanoes, all of it, to the sunny days, the rainy days, like to play in the rain. Yes, to look at the explosion and see not only the destruction, but the beauty that will come after, the nourishment, the regeneration, the fact that it's making space for new, that it's creating new, and that creation came out of the belly of the earth. So just like if I am to create, I can see me. I can see how the rage and the fire and the things that have come against me in my past, every tear, every tear, every tear, can be transformed. That energy can be, I feel the energy, and I take it and I transmute it. I take it and I transmute it. I discern it. I see it. I transmute it. I send it up to the Father for answers. I give it up. Whether I need to surrender it, whether I need to question, whether I need to ask for revelation, all of that. And I get it back, drop back down to me. And I discern it in my heart space. And it gives me the ability to serve it out. To serve it out. Serve it on to self first for self edification. And be so full with my desire. I have a desire to serve it out to the wheat field. Some people don't have the desire to serve that back out, only through the actions that they themselves give. And that is okay, because your journey really is to edify self so that you can be good bread. Edify your wheat so that, because that's the calling. But if you're going to go further and edify your brethren, then I mean, what? We really come together, you know what I mean, to edify the source. Because it's just more harvest. And we all want to be harvested. We all want to go home. We all want to go home. Even those that run to and fro, they want to go home. But guess what? That stubbornness, being stiff-necked. Yes, you are. Stubborn and stiff-necked, refusing to repent, refusing to just say that the Creator is the Most High God, and that every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess. And that creation is whole. The Father made it all by its intelligence. It connects and binds us with its breath. Not just the breath that fills us as humans, that the breath that moves over all of creation. All of creation. The intelligence that operates in all of creation. Yes. And that which commands it all, which sits above all. I think that's beautiful. Loving on yourself is to love your whole you. All of you. No judgment. There's something that you are not too good with, you get the opportunity to see it and to balance it out. While this tornado is raging and all these winds are swirling, pull yourself down, ground yourself to the middle of it, and become a spectator, a watcher, an observer, and see what is it that's swirling around. What is it that's going back and forth? What is repeating? Are there any repeating themes? What do you need to do to care for yourself while you're in the storm? Breathe. Calming yourself. Grounding yourself. Rooting yourself. Rooted in the earth like a tree. You know, one of those big old oaks that's like thousands of years old, where for some reason all of the storms just, it never gets shaken. I mean, like the winds and the branches, you know, stuff might blow some stuff around and you can see the leaves fly off, but the tree itself remains like it's rooted, it's grounded. I know you were going to say grounded. It's grounded and rooted. The roots are so deep in that soil because that's what it is. Because we forget that, the seed goes in the ground and it grows down first to get rooted, to get grounded. A lot of us want to plant something and just be on the top of the dirt, shining, 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 yeah. Look at me winning, right? But we don't necessarily accept the rooting process. The process that it is when that seed is getting cracked open, that outer shell, the inner shell. You know, those roots are working its way down through the dirt, because for the roots themselves to bust through dirt and go grow down and get deep and deep and deep and deep and deep, is some resistance in that. Yes, there's resistance there. But that is the shadow, the deep, dark work, the work that's done in the dark. Whoo, that's the work that's done in the dark. That's going to let you rise on up and break through that dirt so that you can do what? Grow into a big, strong, with branches and branch out. Who and what grows on them branches? I mean, you're talking about just the ability to give. And it flows naturally, whether you intend to give or not. Because in every season, there's a giving. Because what you have created, what you have developed, which has come out of you, oh, it's parts of that is going to fall away. Wind is going to come and blow them away. Birds and squirrels are going to come and eat off of you and take things away. The season is going to change and they will fall away. But to be open and to be receptive and observant and watch the seasons is wise. It's wisdom in that. Why? Because those roots. You think about how the leaves that fall right around the tree and they get broken down into the dirt and provide more nourishment. I think it's feeding the tree, deepening them roots, making them stronger. I mean, them roots will get into anything. I mean, and they could bust down anything. You talking about having a big-ass tree in your front yard and them roots is so huge that it's tearing up your piping system and everything. Huh. Become grounded. Accept the rooting process. And I feel that for someone that's going through the rooting process. Yeah. I might pull some cards on that. What say you, Father? Yeah. We're going to do that. We're going to come back and do it in another now. Until the next time of that now. Hope you come back around. If you vibe, subscribe. If you cared about it, share it out. You know what I mean? That's all it is. To do it, just to do it. And if you really like it, you know, you want to come back for another spell, hit that bell. They're going to let you know, especially when we get ready to throw this one up. It's just going to be in another few nows. I'm about done with my coffee, but I sure ain't done with my faith. We growing that. Oh, yeah, just like we growing these roots. Because it's going to be down, up, down, up, down. But we raising up so up that even our downs feel like ups. Come on now. But know this, y'all. Know this. Whoa. I love you. 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 I love you so much. I do. And I am so thankful for each and every one of you. Each and every one of you. Anybody that's here with me on this journey in this day and this now, while we in this rooting process, like these roots is growing down. They getting strong. I mean, because they feel like little pencil things. You know how roots, and they be like scragglies at first. But give them things some time, baby. That shadow work and the work that's done under the dirt, in the dirt, getting it out the mud, as we say where I'm from, to what? Yes, strengthens you. And you will get to the point with these, just be consistent. Stay there. Stay there. Stay right where you at. Stay in the mud. Stay in the dirt and do the work. Do the work. Do the work. Do the work to be good with you. Do the work to understand where you at right now is exactly where you should be. Have the understanding and awareness that you are growing. You are growing even when it feels like everything is out of control and you may be losing everything. You are growing. You are being grown. You are being developed. Yes, it hit me in the kingdom. You are being developed. You are being rooted. You are being grounded. So when you crack that thing open, Ooh, and just think, even when you come into the light, baby, you step into the light, you still a little sprig, you still looking like baby Groot, you still looking like a baby twig. You know, you probably even need something to help you prop up. Like it's other things that happen when you finally break the dirt. Don't get discouraged. It's a process. Them red oaks don't get there overnight. Really look at this thing and be good with your whole you, the whole process, all of it, all of it, all of it. Now, until the next now, with your girl Lati on Terrace Sweet Roll Show, where you sure enough never know what you're gonna get, but we gonna get to it in just another now. So get on back here, all right? Do my granny wave. See y'all later. All right, y'all. All right. All right. All right. Love y'all. Ashe. Mwah.